Welcome to another episode of Rise with Serious, a show where we dive deep into the untold stories of entrepreneurs who turn their dreams into reality. I'm your host, Serious, and today we are honored to welcome a truly remarkable woman, a trailblazer in the media industry, breaking barriers and setting new standards. She is the founder of a top magazine and TV channel. Her work has inspired many, including me, and her brand continues to empower voices and shape conversations. Join me in welcoming the incredible Miss Maimuna Abubakar, the CEO of Tozali magazine and Tozali TV.
Hello, thank you. Thank you.
So, Ma, before we start our conversation, there's a little game we play, a little rapid fire round, just to get to know you a little bit more.
Okay.
So, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Beach vacation.
Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Texting or phone calls?
Texting.
Comedy movies or action movies?
Comedy.
Cake or ice cream?
Cake.
Walk alone or walk in a team?
Walk alone.
So now that we've known you a little bit more, let's dive into our conversation.
Okay.
So Ma, what made you start a magazine and a TV channel, and what do you want to achieve with these brands?
Well, I think I'm one person that likes to follow my passion. Although I read law, I'm a lawyer by training, but since when I was a kid, I'd always want to be a TV personality. I want to have a magazine, I mean, I think it's just a dream, a passion, because as a kid, my mother reads a lot, so I get to go to her library. She has this big box where she used to keep all her books and everything. So I go in there, I try to steal some of the books. Some books are even adult books that I'm not supposed to read at that age, because some are even, this novel they call Mills and Bones and what have you. I just, take away some copies, I'll hide, I'll read them. I read all the James Hadley Chase of this world. I read some magazines. Then there used to be magazines like Doctor Who, and magazines called, I think they're still in existence, Cosmopolitan. Then there is this another magazine that was then reigning in Nigeria. They call it Hint. So my mother used to be a collector. She collects those magazines, and I go to read them. So I think that's actually my first inspiration. But I didn't know it was like something that I'm going to pursue as a career until when I finished secondary school during my JAM. When I was filling in my form, I realized that I filled in mass communication and I think law. Fortunately, when I got admission, I got law. But actually I wanted to, because even when I was given admission to read law, I went to see someone that actually influenced me getting admission in Bayero University. And I remember his name is Musa Badara. Then he used to be a professor at Bayero University. So I asked him, I said they gave me law, but I want to read mass communication. He said, no, you can actually read law and be a journalist if you want. If you read law, you can be anything. But if you read mass communication, you only be a journalist. So why don't you give yourself this, this wide, range of like making choices of what you want to be in the future? Because when you read law, you can do a lot of things. So I was convinced, and I went to read law. So I graduated as a lawyer, and still in my mind, I still want to pursue a career in the, what do you call it, journalism or mass communication world, I started working in Corporate Affairs Commission as a lawyer. I started at level 09 because I finished law school. Usually lawyers start work instead of 8 for normal people. Lawyers get 9 because of law school and whatever. So I started working at Corporate Affairs Commission, but still at the back of my mind, I wanted to have a magazine, because then I was convinced that I should have my own magazine, especially because I looked around and there's really no magazines in the northern part of the country, especially a magazine that is celebrating the northern woman, her hard work, her achievement, her way of life, you know, and whatever. It is not. So as I was working, I kept doing my research, you know, and finally one day I decided to resign from 9 to 5, you know. I saved some money and I delved into the murky waters of becoming a publisher, because that's it. I didn't even start as a journalist, I started as a publisher. So I delved into the murky waters of becoming a publisher. And I started, first of all, I decided to like get a mentor, someone that is conversant, that has experience in journalism. His name is Larry Issa. He's now the DG of National Orientation Agency now. So he used to be a practicing media person. So someone introduced me to him, and I went to meet him. I told him that I want to start my own magazine. He was looking at me, you know, and everything. He told me everything to discourage me, because he said he had actually tried it before, but he had to just walk away because of the you know, the intrigue, the difficulty, you know, the lack of support in the system and whatever. But I was like, I want to still try, you know. He asked me to come to go and get a business plan. I went online. I copy and paste a business plan I took to him. I didn't even read the business plan properly, you know. I didn't read it properly because I'm set on my ways, you know. I'm one person that is, when I'm set on something, I'm set of something. Nothing you can tell me to discourage me, but I would like to know so that I would like know how to manage my challenges, you know, because I mean, if you tell me that no, this is a no, this is difficult, you can't do it, I mean, that's when it becomes more interesting to me, because I don't believe there is anything like something that you can't do. You know, God created us with brains, with what do you call it, with IQs, you know, so that we can conquer the world. So there is nothing like anything I can do. If I don't do something, it's probably because I don't have the time or I don't have the interest. But if I have the time, I have the interest, whatever it is, I'll pursue it, you know. So that's who I am. And I told you one of the reasons, we don't have nothing in the North. We don't have any magazine, we don't have anything celebrating the Northern culture itself, you know. And you see, we're in a world where you need to tell your story. If you don't tell your story, nobody is going to tell your story. You'll be forgotten. Why do you think CNN are the giants of the world? Why do you think America is the giant of the world? Because they tell their stories. They tell their stories, they make their story to be as if it's the end, you know. You being an American is like you've won a lottery, like it's the end. You know, that's, you know, you're like a special being. Why? It's because they sell that story to the world. They sell that story, they sell who they are to the world, and because they have the media. So we see them every day and we buy them. We buy their story. We're even copying them. You understand? So if you don't put your story out there, people will not see it, talk less of appreciating it. So, I mean, I think that's one thing that actually inspired me to, and you know, I like money. And there is a Virgin Market. When I came on with Tozali, I think I was the first Northern woman to have a magazine. So I was the first to have a magazine that it's like a lifestyle magazine. Of course, I think there are news magazines like Hotline and Co. But it's really nothing. There is no any magazine that is published and that is the lifestyle magazine that is published by a woman. So I was actually the first to push that out, you know, and I publish wedding, I publish women dressed in the fashionable northern attire, you know. I mean, there was a lot of backlash, you know, then. People think like I'm totally unconventional, because as a northerner, there is supposed to be, there is this norm, there is this, what do you call it? Yeah, exactly. And look at me out there publishing people's wife on pages of my magazines and everything, you know. Some husbands used to call me and, you know, throw tantrums at me. Why how would you publish my wife's picture and everything? I mean, now with Instagram, all your wives and everybody is out there, you know. But I mean, I started it. I started pushing those narrative out. And I mean, you know, people are able to see who a Northern woman is. People are able to appreciate the way Northerners dress. You don't have to be dressed immodestly before people will know that you've gone to school. You understand? It's only in the North that you see a woman dressed in a traditional way and she's well educated. There is really nothing wrong with that. You understand? So it's really something like an avenue, like a platform that has pushed the Northern woman out in her own way, the way she is, with her rights as a Northern woman, with her mode of dressing, with her achievement, you know, with her Northern woman.
That's so inspiring, man. And I hope we'll have a lot of people that will emulate you, because sure you've been there.
It's choice. It depends on whether they want to be like me, but I want to see a lot of women, Northern women especially, doing better than me. Do you understand? Whenever I see a woman doing something, you know, being creative, being out there, being purposeful, I actually feel inspired. I still need more inspiration in my life, and those kind of things inspire me. You know, seeing women out there doing things, you know, doing things that before you will never even imagine a woman doing that. Especially in the North, where we have so many limitations, where we have boundaries, where we have things that people think as a Northern woman you should not do. You understand? Where there are jobs like these jobs are for men, these jobs are for women. There's really nothing like that. Women are breaking glass ceilings these days, and it's so inspiring. And I hope we'll keep the vibe and keep pushing. You know, look at my friend, she's a photographer, which is, I mean, before all the photographers we have are men. But today, look at today, there are a lot of women photographers, there are a lot of women doing different things, there are a lot of women in the technology world, you know, doing so many things. And I mean, it's very inspiring. It's life-changing.
So how have you grown your brands, the TV and the magazine channel, to be popular brands?
Well, you see, sometimes things happen. As I said, when I started, why it gained acceptability within a very short period of time. One is because it's a virgin market, as I said, nobody is doing it. So when it came, I didn't have much competition. At the moment, I didn't, you know. When it came, it was Tozali, and Tozali. So it was easy for me to grow. That's why whenever anybody is going into a business, I always advise you to do your case study, study the business, study the background of the business, study who are in the business, study everything about it before you get into it, because that will give you the leverage, or it will give you the awareness of how to go about it. Do you understand? What buttons are you supposed to push to push across for you to like get into the market? You know, from the beginning, it wasn't easy. It didn't just happen like within a short, people think it happens in a short because people know it when they know it. Do you understand? But that doesn't mean that's when I started. No, it took a while. But as I said, the virgin then was a virgin market. You understand? When I pushed, it pushed back, I pushed, and it happened. You understand? So the secret is consistency. You know, whenever you start something, especially as a young woman, because I started as a very young woman, people will not take you serious. People just think you're wasting your time, you know. People don't believe in you, you know. Even if you take a proposal to them, they just look at it and, you know, put it aside. Like, I mean, you're just a drama queen trying to like think you can bring new things into the society, or you can do something new and what have you. So people don't take you serious. So the secret to building a brand is consistency. You have to be consistent. At first, you feel as if you're throwing your money in a ditch because we publish, we go to the market, and we come back as in non-selling few copies, maybe 5 copies, 10 copies, but I kept pushing, and that's why I'm going to thank God that I read law. So I'm still, or then I didn't stop practicing law. When I left my job at Corporate Affairs Commission, first of all, I registered 2 companies, 2 business names, Tozali and Limestone Solicitors. Limestone Solicitors is like a chamber, a small chamber where I can be doing my runs. There's what they call charge and bell lawyers, right? Where you don't have office, but you can get job, you can get maybe an agreement or a CAC registration or something. So I was still doing that. I still have a number of clients that I was getting money from. I was working for them, giving them, doing some company law practices for them, and I was getting paid. I was into property, I was into company registration, paying annual returns, upgrading of company, and all this and all that, because that's actually my strength. So I was doing that, and I was doing Tozali. So I was using the same office for both businesses, because I was able to open an office, a small office for Tozali with few staff, and then I was also independently doing my legal practice, because that I didn't have any staff. I'm the independent partner, owner and partner, whatever. So I was doing my legal practice, and that has been supportive, because when I was throwing my money in a ditch, or when I was publishing Tozali and I was going to the market and I was coming back and nobody is buying it, because nobody knows the magazine, so why are they going to buy it? You understand? So I was still just pushing, trying to get acceptability, because in media business you can only get money when you have acceptability. Nobody will sponsor or give you advert on a paper that nobody will buy if it's a magazine. It has to be has like a popular whatever, it must be something that people always want to buy before people start even placing their adverts or anything on it. So, but for me, I was just printing it, and it's just like going to the market and coming back with nothing, you understand? And I continue using the money I was getting from my law practices, and I was supporting the business for a while before I started breaking even. So it didn't just happen, but as I said, why it happened faster is because the market is fragile. There's nobody doing it. So when there's nobody doing it, you have this thing they call power of monopoly. So I was the only one that was doing it then. Of course, after a while, some magazines, I think, came up and
so what is the main challenge you faced while building the brand, and how did you overcome that? The biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge, as I said, is for people to take me seriously. As I said, I was a child. When I started, I was a young woman, and I didn't have the support. People are not supportive of me, so I have to work extra hard to make it work. I didn't have investors, so I was my sole investor. So, it was difficult building a brand without bank money, without any investment from anybody. So I was my sole investor. As I said, I was doing my legal job, and I was investing it back into the magazine. So it was actually difficult from the beginning, yes. And as I said, or as I'm going to say here, is there is no business that is not challenging. Anything you're going to go into, be it legal or illegal, it's challenging. It's challenging. So you must face different roadblocks. What is important is when you face those roadblocks is how you cross it.
How did you overcome that? The people not trusting you, not supporting you?
Well, I don't know, because I can say that, you see, I'm a strong believer in destiny. When God said be, and it shall be. It was difficult, but as I said, I'm not the kind of person that gives up. And wherever you keep pushing in life, and you pray about it, and you believe in it, it will happen. It will take a while, yes. You see a lot of challenges, but I learn from my setbacks, from my challenges, and I look for new solutions. Let me give you an example. When I realized that cover of my magazine cover, when I started Tozali, the cover of the paper has a woman. When I just pick a woman, maybe a successful woman, I will interview her and she'll be my cover story. And I realized that I wasn't selling. It wasn't selling the magazine the way it should sell it. So I decided to try putting event, borrowing from Mr. Ovation. So I decided, I was just like, okay, fine, I will have a woman interview, also a cover woman, and then I will have an event and what have you and everything. And the first time I tried this event, I realized that I sold more copies. I sold more copies. In fact, I covered the event for free, but I sold a lot of copies. Do you understand? So from that time, we started covering event for fees. Say, okay, you're going to put your event on our cover magazine, and we'll put you on the cover, the couple on the cover, and the event. We display the picture of events, then we display the picture of fashion pictures of the event, people that have attended the event. And then also we have other stories, other inspiring, because I love writing, I love inspiring stories, I love good stories, I love health stories, I love, so the magazine is like a contemporary kind of, that has a lot of things, all together. If you take Tozali, it's like you see a lot of things, and everything. But the cover is what sells the magazine. And when we realized that if we put wedding on the cover, we sell the magazine. So we started putting weddings on the cover of our magazine. So before Tozali at first was a woman kind of, woman cover kind of a magazine, but it later become a wedding magazine. You understand? With so many content, if you open it, there's versatility. There's a lot of things, different things inside. We do a lot of things. We cover a lot of issues, women issues, health issues, sports, entertainment, and what have you. Even news. We do front burners, as in something that is burning. We do front burners, but the cover story usually is a wedding. So because of that, we started having wedding invitation. You understand? We started making money because any wedding we cover, we make money. There is a time. In fact, there was a time in northern Nigeria that if your wedding is not on Tozali, forget it. You are yet to be wedded. You should look for another wedding. You should wait for another time. I have women that have actually covered their weddings twice in Tozali. The first wedding they wedded and the marriage didn't work out and they marry again and they called me to cover. So you see, at some point in time before you know it, you become a brand. We're covering all the high-end wedding in Nigeria. But we started the wedding thing as a joke. So that's what I'm telling you. At first, I was like wondering why people, I have a beautiful woman, a beautiful achiever, an inspiring story on the back of my magazine. And people are not buying. What is it, What is it? So, I just like, out of the blues, I said, okay, let me try wedding. I think I was going through some documents, through some books in one office. Then I saw Ovation. I looked at it. I was like, okay, but this Ovation sells like wildfire. So what is so special about it? Do you understand? I don't want my magazine to be like Ovation, no. Because, when you're starting something, you have this dream. You understand? It's not about money. From the beginning, it's usually not about money, it's about passion. And my passion is to sell stories. Do you understand? Not to sell pictures. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll start selling pictures and stories. You understand? So I decided to, do a wedding cover magazine. And from that time, it was actually a turning point for Tozali. Everybody is coming to Tozali. Sometimes in a month we'll be overbooked. We have to carry you over to the next month because a lot of brides and groom, bride's family, mothers, and are calling us, or they all want to be in Tozali. They all want their pictures to be displayed in Tozali, and we charge per page, And then we started making money. Before you know it, Tozali is a brand. Everybody's brand. It's only this, the coming of Instagram, the coming of Instagram and social media. Generally, that actually, I think, what do you call it, undermine many publications. Not only Tozali, it undermined all publication, be it newspaper, be it magazine, be it, it was, you know, everything has, it's going online.
So, which is taking me to the next question. Now that the internet and social media is growing fast, how has Tozali stayed important?
From Tozali magazine, I've learned a lot because, I mean, as I said, every business is a learning process for people that want to learn. When I was doing Tozali, when I was doing magazine, because we don't publish Tozali magazine anymore, but we do it online. It's an online paper now. We don't print, because I mean, print, nobody buys print. You know, our target customers are usually young people and everything, and they don't have anything to do with print. You know, so as I said, I learned a lot. I saw how the world has moved from print to digital media. Do you understand? So, although when it was moving, I already started, what do you call it, a digital copy. We have Tozali digital copy. When it's transitioning to digital, we were actually, you know, following it up, but not in the same, what do you call it, not as fast as it went. You understand? We didn't know that it's going to be like this. So we're like, actually, we're being digital. We're doing a lot of things online. You know, we had our Facebook, we had our Instagram, we had our whatever. You know, anything that comes, we also have our own app that can support it and what have you. But I've learned something, that that the world is going very fast. Technology has taken over the world, and it's still taking over the world. And even now that we're in the mainstream media, like having DSTV channels and what have you, in the next few years, people will not watch DSTV. They might not, at the rate of which things are going, because everything is becoming more and more and more digital. Now there is AI, there is a lot of things, a lot of new things, you know, and everything. Young people they rather watch Netflix than to watch normal TV channels and whatever. So, the thing is, now I've learned to plan faster. You understand? Tozali, it's, yes, on DSTV 393, is on Star Times, is on all the platform of mainstream media, as well as we are also online. Whatever we have on the platform, we have it online. We're even now in the process of doing an app that you can actually, wherever you are, you can watch Tozali in your phone and everything. You don't even need to watch us on the TV and everything. So we're trying to go with the flow. We're trying to go with the growth, because the world is growing, so that nothing will take us by surprise again. You know, because then we were surprised how Instagram has taken over our market within a very short period of time. You know, the calls reduced, you know, the booking reduced and everything. You know, and we realized that there is really no need for us to print anymore.
Have you ever thought of doing the same thing but on the Instagram? Maybe covering people's wedding, exclusively Tozali on Instagram?
Yes, I thought about that, and we've actually started that. Because before we lost our Instagram page, there was a time we built a very good Instagram page of about almost 500,000 followers. During the Trump campaign, not this one, the last Trump campaign, I think a lot of people lost their Instagram page. It was hacked and was taken away from us. And because I wasn't the one that was managing it, was managed by the office. And I think somewhere, somehow, somebody was compromised, and we lost 500,000. Yes.
It's money now.
Which is big money. Then even then it was, but then we didn't even monetize it, and I think that's why it was easily, they took it away. We didn't monetize it, but it was a verified page. We verified it and everything. So we had to start afresh. I think I have Tozali magazine that is 100,000 now, and then Tozali TV is about 12,000 or anything, because I like building organic followers. I'm not a fan of buying followers or whatever, you know. But our Facebook, I think it's about 200,000+, and it's still there, because what we're lucky that the pages are connected, but somehow they could not get into the Facebook. They just We just lost the Instagram page. So that's how we lost our Instagram page. So we are building from the scratch or scratch off again. And as having exclusive wedding on Instagram, I think I have outgrown that. I would like, because I'm already a TV owner, and whatever we're doing in the TV, in the magazine, we're also doing it in the TV, like the interviews, like the stories, like documentaries, like what have you, like movies and whatever, we're all doing it on the TV. And TV is a full-time job. I don't think I even have the time to start like going, asking people to come, let me publish your wedding. Because I mean, there's a lot of handles where you can put your weddings now. You understand, depending on which handle you want to put your weddings. There are so many handles covering, what do you call it, weddings and whatever. And these are like young entrepreneurs that I should encourage, not to be competing with them. So I don't do that. I do mostly now, we do news, we do documentaries, so I'm doing the hard stories, and I like it. You understand? Because I mean, at my age, I think this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be, of course we cover weddings. If you want your wedding to be covered in, it's one of the things we do on Tozali TV. We can actually, if you invite us to cover your wedding, you can pay some money, and we put your wedding documentary, how your wedding happens, how it transpired, what happened and everything. We can put it up for you, but it should not be like a men business. You understand? Not because it's not lucrative. No, it's not something that I still want to do now. I think I'm a bit out of that. When I was doing it, I was also in the age group of weddings and what have you, and I like it then. And people want me to be attending their wedding then. Whenever, most of the weddings I was covering, the parents insist that I come in as an invitee. And you see, at my age now, I cannot be attending weddings. I'm not really even a big fan of celebrations and what have you. So I think what I do for the TV now, and covering both soft and hard stories, and doing a mainstream TV, I think I'm fine with it, and it's taking a lot of my time, because TV is a 24 hours thing. Imagine yourself having to build content. Tozali used to be monthly, the magazine, but now content is every day. Every day you must build at least 8 hours content. That's live hours. The rest, you can allow the rest to repeat, but at least you are 8 hours. Live hours. When I mean live hours, your most important 8 hours of the TV must be produced every day. So do you think it's an easy job? Do you think I have time to no? So I think, and besides, as other people are doing it, I'm happy seeing their pages grow, seeing them doing what used to be my dream, or what was my dream before, and everything, and I'm happy. And as I said, covering wedding, I mean, I came about it by chance, because I mean, my dream wasn't taking me to where I wanted to be, so I had to like bring in the idea of covering weddings and what have you.
So what advice would you like to give young women, especially that want to start, I wouldn't say magazine because it's outdated now.
Yeah.
So that want to start probably a TV channel.
Yeah, or want to delve into any kind of media. Yeah. The first advice I want to tell people is, whatever you're going to do, you should do it with certain level of integrity. Because integrity is one thing that many business people don't have. And if you have integrity, you will not know when integrity will work for you. It will certainly work for you. So whatever you're going to do, you should first of all be responsible, and you should be accountable on how you deal with people, how you deal with their money. Because look, whatever business you're doing, people will give you money. Whatever services you're providing, people will give you money for that services. So you have to be accountable. You have to be as transparent as possible, so that people will see, okay, there is value for money. Like for example, when we're doing Tozali, if you buy 5 pages of our magazine, we go and sit down with you, and we select the pictures for that 5 pages, and we usually give you the first page for free, so making it 6. Where I give the first page for free, I want the couple to have space so that the couple will be seen, so that the parents will not go and take all the, mothers of the bride, like showing themselves and her friends and whatever. So I was like, no, this first page is for the couple. You can't put anything here. It's a couple. They're going to have a picture of a couple, some of their pictures, then a short introduction about the wedding, about how the wedding went and what have you. So whatever you're going to do, just make sure that you've bridged that gap. You're open. Everything is laid on the table. And people see value for money. Value for money meaning if I've given you money for 5 pages, I should be able to see 5 pages. So don't collect people's money just because, like, for example, I told you there was a time that we were overbooked. We tell people when we are fully booked, we tell you we're fully booked. We don't collect your money and tell you, okay, later, no, we're not putting you in this month. No, first of all, we tell you we're fully booked. If you want to book for the next month, then you should book for the next month paper. But this month is fully booked, and there is nothing you can do for you to, like, okay, tell us to put you, or to remove somebody's picture and put you. Even if you are overpaying us, even if you're paying us extra, we don't do that because we've already agreed. So, I mean, you should be able to, first of all, build a good reputation. Reputation of being a responsible person, in terms of when it comes to people's money, you don't play with people's money. And if you fail to deliver, you should have the ability of refunding people's money. Let's say something happened. I had a situation where I had to publish Tozali twice for a wedding. We published, and unfortunately, the printers messed up the job. They messed it up. I went back to the family. I mean, the magazine went to the market, yes, and everything, not as qualitative as it used to be, because we used to print in Dubai. But somehow, even it's printed in Dubai, but the quality was messed up. You understand? The pictures were dark and everything. And I went to the family. I told them that, look, I'm sorry. I'm going to print the picture of this wedding, another set of pictures. If you want these ones, if you want us to sit down, we'll select pictures and everything, we're going to reprint it in the next edition. And we did. And we gave it the same coverage, the same number of pages, the same everything. That's what I call what? Business integrity. And secondly, wherever you're going to do, don't be discouraged. Just don't be discouraged by some, what do you call it? What do you call that? Challenges, or stumbling blocks that you meet on the way. People don't like to pay for services. Especially when you're dealing with individuals. When you're dealing with companies, most of the time, you're good to go. Hardly will a company hold your money. But individuals, and in this kind of business, sometimes you deal with individuals, sometimes you deal with companies and whatever. So people are not easy. They don't like parting with money, especially after services. So we've dealt with such kind of clients whereby we have to keep following them around for our money and whatever. But in such situation, you should never lose your cool. You should never fight with anybody because of money. Because if you fight with a client, it will affect the way the other clients look at you. Despite maybe you're fighting because of your right, because of your money. You understand? So, are you ready to lose other clients because of one shithole client that refused to pay your money? No. So in those cases, in such circumstances, especially here in the North where people values are very important, you understand, you don't want to be seen fighting with anybody. So in such circumstances, we've lost a lot of money to some clients, which they refused to pay, and we didn't do nothing about it. We didn't do nothing about it. We didn't take them to court. We didn't take them to police station. We didn't, because we don't want that scandal to paint our reputation. Because if they say, yeah, Tozali is in court with so person over money, I mean, the next person that wants to give you business will be scared. He'll say that if something happened and I couldn't pay, this woman is going to take me to court. So in such circumstances, you should know how to manage people. So people management in businesses, not in Tozali or whatever, in entrepreneurship generally, people management, you have to weigh your action. How do you weigh your action? Weigh if I do A, what's going to be B and what's going to be C. Because there's going to be B and there's going to be C. Are the B and C worth it? Are B and C worth your while? Let's say you're losing 2 million, and you have the possibility or an opportunity of making 10 million or 50 million somewhere. And this fighting for this 2 million can cost you your business. So what's the best thing to do? Is to drop this 2 million case aside. Allah Isa, and move forward. I have moved forward from a lot of people. They didn't pay and I just let it be. Not because I don't want my money, but because I don't want the scandal. And also as a media person, you should not allow yourself to be dragged into scandals. I don't like scandals. I don't want my name, especially if you're a woman. So wherever people will try to trigger you. People, when you start business, the moment you start succeeding, you start having enemies. A lot of things will be said about you. A lot of publications, people can even go out of their way and write rubbish about you because they want to trigger you. They want to drag you to the mud. They want to drag you to their level. As a media person or as a business person, don't allow anybody to drag you down. If you're not on the same energy with someone, you understand, choose your friends wisely. Choose your interaction, not even your friends. Even your business associates, you should choose them wisely. You understand? And try to distinguish between personal relationship and business relationship. Don't mix these two. When you have a business relationship with a person, keep it business. When you have a personal relationship with a person, keep it personal. But the moment you allow these two to come together, you're going to have it. Yeah. It's going to be difficult. You're not going to have it easy. And another thing that I don't do, from the beginning, I was employing my cousins, my whatever, my relations. But over time, I realized that is a terrible mistake. Because when your emotions are involved in something, or you will not be able to make good judgment. You understand? And sometimes it's not even your emotions. Maybe the mother of the relative or the father of the relative you're employing, or your own father and your own mother, because they think Mr. A is your relative, you should be given special treatment and what have you. Those kind of situations or those kind of employments undermine business. You should have an office whereby everything should be strictly official. I'm not saying you should not be friendly with your staff. You should find a balance. You can be friendly. You can open up to your staff, because leadership, you should be loved by the people you're working with. How? You understand that if you display a good sense of leadership. You are in their life on one hand, you are not in their life. Let's use Buhari and for everybody and for nobody. So that's how to balance. And another thing that I have learned over time is to be prayerful. Because, as a Muslim, I know that whatever God has ordained for you shall happen to you, shall come to pass. You understand? So you need to keep praying for the best of the world, praying for everything, praying for the business you are in, and praying that Allah should be part of the business so that the business can succeed. So prayers is very, very important. And let me tell you another things that prayers does that people don't know. If you are praying and you think God is not answering your prayers, you understand, you will not know what God is blocking for you. Maybe that thing is not good for you. You will not know that thing is not good for you until after some years have passed. Then you remember that, wow, had it been I got that thing, I wouldn't have been here. Do you understand? But when you are praying, you think, oh, God is ignoring me. Or this God, they said that when you pray, he answers. And then look at him, he's like ignoring me. No, God doesn't ignore us. It's either what you are praying for is good for you, he grant it, or is not good for you, and he refused to grant it. But over time, there is nothing you will not see. Over time, you realize that, wow, that thing I prayed hard for wasn't supposed to be mine. It it was even good for me. If it even happened, then I wouldn't have been where I am today. And alhamdulillah, look at where I am today. So, and I think praying in business is very important. And the final word is consistency. Whatever you're going to do, don't be jumping from one business to another. You know, if you are on this track, I like diversification. Diversification is good. If you have money, diversify. Try to, invest in other businesses. You understand? Other businesses that doesn't need your attention. Like, for example, if you get money, you're doing, like, there's what they call seed money. In every money that God has blessed you with, there is a seed money. There is money that if you take out of this money and invest somewhere, is a seed money, it's going to grow. Do you understand? So you look at other things that you can invest in. Like for me, I like investing in, no, I invested in stock and it failed. So I'm not a stock market person, but I like property investment. I like investing in property. I like buying land. I like buying houses, those kind of investments. So I think in every money you get, try and, identify the seed money. It's not as if you'll see it, but there is a seed money. There is this money that if you pick from this money and put somewhere, it's going to also generate a passive income for you, which is very important. Because sometimes you see that the business you're on, it's not going the way it should be. So those passive income that you're getting from other places, maybe investment in the bank, property here, rent here, and what have you, those can support your business. People will not know, like during COVID, people were like asking me that how COVID, people are not working, but I'm still paying salary. I didn't sack any of my staff during COVID. I was paying salary. I was paying salary during COVID, but I wasn't paying salary from the money I was making on the TV or in the magazine. No, I was making money from my passive income, and I was using it to support my business. And people were wondering that, we are suffering, we are sacking staff, we are closing down, we are doing this, and you're still paying salary. I said, yes, I'm paying salary. But the truth of the matter, yes, it's passive from another investment, but why did you get the money for that investment? From this investment. So that's it. So you should identify seed money and invest. That's how people grow and become Aliko Dangotes of this world and what have you. So I think I can keep talking. I talk a lot, but I think this is enough.
Where do you see Tozali magazine and TV in the next 5 to 10 years?
You see, my aim for the Tozali brand is for us to be seen in all the part of the world. I'm happy to tell you that we are seen in Niger. If you go to South Africa, if you have DSTV, you see us. If you go to Ghana, if you have DSTV, you Star Times. Because we're on DSTV, we're on Canal Plus, we're on Star Times. And these platforms have, very wide reach. So wherever you go, you see us. So we are more or less an African channel. I want it to be more, really. I want Tozali to be, not Tozali Hausa, because if I want it to be as international as possible, we should also have Tozali TV English. Do you understand? So we're actually looking at starting another channel that is also Tozali, but Tozali English. Is going to be English, and the dream for both the two channels is for the channels to be international, to be well known internationally, to be something that when you're trying to discuss or talk about North, you go to Tozali now, go to Tozali archive. Our archive can be able to speak for the North. Do you understand? This is actually what I want with Tozali. I want it to become the biggest brand ever in Nigeria.
And I hope Rise with Zeros will be on Tozali's.
Amen, amen, amen. It will be. We are open to it. We are open to it.
So, Ma, I think we are done with the questions now. But we have a small tradition that we have. I'll want you to mention one entrepreneur that you think is making waves and is inspiring that we can bring here and interview as well.
Well, there are a lot of entrepreneurs these days. Let me see. There are people doing a lot of things in different, walks of life. I have a friend, she's a lawyer, and I think she's quite successful. Her name is Umahani Amin, and I think she should be somebody that I can actually convinced to be on this platform, because I think you would like to hear from her. Her journey is very inspiring, and I think she should be on this platform.
So Mrs. Umahani, if you are watching this, please be ready for us. Thank you. And to our viewers, I hope today's conversation has left you feeling inspired and ready to take on your entrepreneurial path, especially in the media industry. So please don't forget to comment, like, and share this episode to someone who needs a little extra motivation. I'm your host, Zirius, and this is Rise with Zirius. Let's keep rising.